mother of two missing children will be back in a Kauai courtroom tomorrow. Lori Vallow is fighting extradition to Idaho, where she faces felony charges because she's refusing to tell authorities where her kids are. During her initial court appearance, her lawyer asked that her $5 million bail be reduced to $10,000. That request was denied by the judge. Tomorrow's hearing is for a motion for reconsideration on the judge's bail decision. Prosecutors are against reducing Vallow's bail.
Today we're going to go over what Lori Vallow's got coming up in court this afternoon. Today is Wednesday, February 26th, and before we get started, I have to brag a little bit. My granddaughter, Kennedy, turns 1 today, which is super exciting. This is a picture of her Sunday digging into her cake. She was an absolute pro. As a grandma, I could not help but just throw that in there and give old girl a little screen time because today is absolutely her day. But our buddy Lori Vallow, our new favorite inmate, has decided that today she's going back into court to ask the judge for a bond reduction. Her defense team has filed documents that say that her constitutional rights have been violated, which in my opinion is ridiculous, and all it's going to do, in my opinion, again, is piss off the judge. Lori's defense team filed documents that spell out what they believe to be a violation of her constitutional rights. Now, the prosecutor in Kauai is fired back and said, no bullshit. Everything that's being done is being done within the umbrella of the law, and nothing is happening here that is making her a victim or taking advantage of her. I have a lot to say about this impromptu hearing. I have a lot to say about the fact that Chad Daybell is apparently leaving Kauai. And I also have a lot to say about this new conspiracy theory that there is in fact a Lori Vallow body double that is being held in jail, and that is why they need to do this huge extradition hearing with a identification process. So let's run through these documents because I definitely need to vent. Now, these documents are a few pages long, but we're just going to go over the parts that really break down what Lori's defense team is speculating and what they're claiming should be taking place as opposed to what they see taking place. This page says, in the present case, Lori is purportedly charged with 2 felonies punishable by a fine of not more than $500 or by imprisonment of not more than 14 years. Lori is also charged with 3 misdemeanor offenses punishable by fines of not more than $1,000 or jail time not exceeding 1 year. Therefore, a Hawaii judge, not an Idaho judge, shall set bail or release Lori. Since Hawaii authorities did not seek a warrant from a Hawaii judge prior to Lori's arrest, there was no bail to be confirmed. The judge should have inquired as to the filing of a complaint under oath and set reasonable bail as required by the constitutions of the United States and the state of Hawaii. The 8th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States dictates in relevant part, excessive bail shall not be required. Her defense team goes on to say, bail for what amounts to be Class B felonies, which is the closest Hawaii equivalent to the felonies purportedly charged in Idaho, usually range from $2,000 to $20,000. Lori offered $10,000. The request should have been $10,000 cash only. In any case of the total amount of bail in this case should not exceed $100,000. This would be an amount sufficient to ensure Lori's appearance at court hearings and to protect the public. In the present case, none of the procedural requirements have occurred. As a result, Lori's constitutional rights have been violated. According to reports containing what purports to be the affidavit filed in Idaho to support the charged offenses, the authorities admit that Lori has been under constant surveillance by law enforcement since January 2020. Authorities were aware Lori was represented by local counsel who was willing to arrange Lori's surrender should a warrant be obtained. Therefore, Lori was neither a flight risk nor a danger to the public. There was no need to arrest Lori without a Hawaii warrant or a governor's warrant. Her defense team is blowing back into the courtroom saying that no. Typically, this is what happens. Typically, we should see this. Okay, fabulous. Because it's not uncommon that we see in any court case where they cite previous court cases as a precedent for what could happen in the future. That makes perfect sense. In my opinion, what they're failing to do is recognize the things that they are saying she won't do, she's already done. She has already skipped town multiple times. She has already hindered the investigation. So what in the hell makes this defense team so confident now that this woman is not going to do the same thing again? And what they're spilling out in this document really isn't that damn convincing, in my opinion. It's just not. In my opinion, I can see the judge being extremely pissed off about this. It's going to be a waste of time for the courtroom. Now, the prosecuting attorney did fire back. Again, we're not going over the entire document because a lot of it is just illegal mumbo jumbo. We're just going to focus on the parts that are him clapping back at this defense team. This court on February 21st, 2020, set the defendant's bail at $5 million while she awaits production of a governor's warrant of arrest and while she awaits her requested identification hearing set for March 2nd, 2020. Law provides that this court has wide discretion to set bail to ensure further appearance in this case. Defendant cites to have no authority for her position that this court cannot set bail in the same amount as set by the court in the demanding state. Clearly, the defendant is a flight risk. She left Arizona after witnessing her brother shoot and kill her now deceased husband, and within a short time moved to Idaho. Within a couple of months, after talking with investigators in Idaho, she fled to Kauai. Given the extensive media attention, she is clearly aware that the authorities have prioritized her case. She also has the means to move across the ocean. Chad Daybell, as recently as last month, possessed approximately $152,000 in a First Hawaiian bank account. Defendant has not complied with a January 2020 court order from Idaho commanding her to produce her minor children, JJ and Tylee. Therefore, this court was clearly justified in setting substantial bail for her. Furthermore, this court is not bound by any standard bail ranges applicable when a person is pending trial here in the First Circuit Court. Even assuming that law is applicable to the setting of bail in extradition proceedings, law provides that the amount of bail rests in the discretion of the court, and the court may consider the circumstances of the defendant. The prosecution goes on to show here different exhibits and how they will prove in this hearing this afternoon that she is still a flight risk and she still has the means to continue the same behavior that she's shown in the last few months. Number 9 is interesting because they said in court last Friday that she doesn't possess a passport. Number 9 states, counsel is aware that according to Lori's driver's license record, she has a passport that expired in February of 2018. This information conflicts somewhat with defense counsel's representation that she does not have a passport. So in addition to firing back, they're also coming back and saying, listen, now we've caught the defense in somewhat of a lie. And I love how that's towards the end of the document to where that taste is left in the judge's mouth. Just planting the seed that they've already not been 100% forthcoming. And if that's what we have to expect from Lori and her defense team, why should we grant any leniency here? Why? It doesn't make any sense. But just to be clear, I want every step of her legal process to have all the T's crossed and all the I's dotted in the absolute correct way, in accordance 1,001% with the law. I do not want to see any sort of BS come out later to where any part of her defense team can come and say, this was unlawful, this shouldn't have happened, to where any court would agree with that and all of this case be totally wiped out and we have to start from scratch. Absolutely not. I do not want to see that happen. Definitely we need to run by the law. We need to make sure that everything that's done is done to where she has no legal leg to stand on. In my opinion, right now, it's her grandiose thought process that makes her think she is above the law. She can do whatever the hell she wants. And if she had a single damn brain cell in her head, she would realize maybe she would be granted some sort of leniency if she would open her damn mouth and start talking and cooperating with the investigation. Due to all of the stuff she's pulled in the last, almost 6 months now, she has proven time and time and time and time and time again that she will not cooperate, that she will definitely hinder this investigation, and she will not give up any information into the location of her children. If she was as smart and as big and bad as she pretends to be, she would have realized back in November when she took off running that all of this other crap surrounding her would have come to light simply because she would not give up the location of her children. Frankly, had she said, okay, this is where my children are, and that would have been verified, nobody would have ever looked back into the death of Charles Vallow. Nobody would have looked into the death of Tammy Daybell, and more than likely Alex Cox would still be alive. Not that he's salt of the earth and deserves to be roaming freely on our planet, but at the end of the day, he lost his life likely because of this crazy shit that Lori and Chad and their people believe. That's my 2 cents. Continuing to not cooperate with the investigation is not going to gain her any sort of leniency from the court or any sort of freedom anytime in the near future. Pardon my French, but she's too damn stupid to realize that. And clearly her defense team is doing nothing to convince her otherwise. Why do I think suddenly she wants this reduced so she can get out? Is because now there are reports that Chad Daybell is leaving Kauai. It has now come to light that he has canceled the lease that they had on the property they were staying at in Kauai, and that lease is now going to expire on Friday. So he doesn't have a place to stay. Now she doesn't go back to court until next week, so he's gonna be gone. In my opinion, she is flipping her shit because her fearless leader is leaving her high and dry, and she's trying to figure out a way how to stay in his back pocket. I mean, the way I see things is for the last at least 18 months that we know of, she seems to have done anything and everything that Chad has preached to her. So we're looking at all of these mysterious deaths. We're looking at her missing children. And yet she's looking at him, looking for spiritual guidance, if we could even call it that. And now, in my opinion, the fact that he is possibly leaving the island, she is flipping her shit because she can't think for herself anymore. She is so far down this hole of batshit crazy that without him around, she's not going to know what to do. And that's when we're going to see the cookies crumble with her, in my opinion. Being separated from him will be the best thing for this investigation. She has nothing left in Idaho. She abandoned everything. If he leaves Hawaii, she has nothing holding her there. She's going to have nothing without him. And when people have nothing to lose, they do desperate shit. So that's a little concerning. That's something that we'll have to keep an eye on. But the fact that he is leaving the island, I think, is the main reason for this bond reduction hearing and her push to want to get out so damn bad. It is not to get out because she needs her freedom and she's just uncomfortable and she can't do her hair. I feel that she needs to get out because she needs to stay that close to Chad because she is so spellbound by him and his bullshit teachings that she doesn't know what to do otherwise. That's just the way I see it. I would love to know what other people think because I've tried really hard to stay away from my speculation and my 2 cents, but today I'm dropping some sarcasm snacks because I am over this and this bond hearing has just pissed me off. And while we're dropping sarcasm snacks, I need to talk about some of these conspiracy theories going around. Now, I dig a good conspiracy theory. I'm very proud of my tinfoil hat. But there's one that is going around right now that makes, I can't even believe that this is a real thing. There's a conspiracy theory now that there are actually, in fact, 2 Lori Vallows, and that's why we need to confirm her identity in order to extradite her. Please, let's not give Lori and Chad that much damn credit. Just plain and simple. Bright is not their favorite color. That has been established. There's no reason to believe that she is so big and grandiose and such a big deal on the face of this damn planet that there needs to be 2 of her in order to protect her. That's ridiculous. Now, is it entertaining? Yes, but no, there are not 2 Lori Vallows. What they're doing is in accordance with the law. It's been done before. It's just that we've not seen it done on such a public level. She is making this difficult, nothing more, nothing less. There's only one of her, thank God, because if there was more than one of her on the planet, I myself would leave the planet. I'm out. I'm done. I'm fired up about a few things going on with this case. Now that her defense team has pulled this card, we need to get her bail reduced and have this special hearing specifically for her just pisses me off. Her grandiose way of thinking that they should roll out the red carpet and change the rules for her just makes my skin crawl. I think it's only because it's speculated now Chad is leaving the island, and that scares the shit out of her because now she's actually going to have to think for herself, and that has to be terrifying. I'll give her that. That's going to be terrifying for her. So I hope whatever the hell communication she has from the other side of her veil can give her some damn common sense, because she's going to need it now. The spiritual being days have sailed. It is time to come back to Earth, the one and only planet your ass has only lived on, and figure out that you need to start cooperating if you want any sort of leniency throughout the rest of this process. Because right now, woman, you are screwed, and the rest of the world is sitting back basically applauding that. You got yourself into this situation. The fact that your wackadoo husband is now leaving the island, that gives you free reign to walk into the courtroom and ask the judge, please, oh please, oh please feel sorry for me. I haven't gotten to do my hair in a week. Oh my gosh, it's the worst day ever. Nobody gives a flying fuck, lady. Nobody cares. Anything that happens today, as long as it's done within the realm of the law, I'm going to agree with it. And I hope, and I hope, and I hope, and I hope, and I hope this judge upholds this bail. This bail at $5 million wasn't set accidentally. It was set just over the threshold of what investigators knew at that time they had access to, and that was the $430,000 from Tammy Daybell's life insurance policy. There was no accident. Given her history, we know she's going to be on the first plane, first boat, first submarine out of town. There's no guarantee that she's going to take any of those means of transportation back to Idaho. She has not set the precedence that she's going to cooperate in any way, shape, or form. And I just don't see any court giving her any sort of reduction right now or playing by her set of rules anytime soon. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Thank you for letting me vent. I needed to get a lot of this off of my chest. I have a lot more to say, but like I said, it's my granddaughter's birthday. So I've got plans today with the kids. So wherever this video finds you, I hope you are warm and having a great day. Make good choices out there. Be safe, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.